Hello, welcome to Jet Mathematics. I remain your host, Milton Ebiwari John. We are still on the series of polynomials, and today we want to determine if these functions we have on the board are polynomials or not. In our last video, we've been able to establish how you can recognize if a function or expression is a polynomial or not. And so today we want to solve some basic problems applying the knowledge from our last video. So we have this first function on the board, f of x. For number one, or a, f of x is equals to square root of 3 plus s raised to the power 5. Is this a function or not? Okay, this is a function. A, f of x is a function, it's a polynomial rather. It's a polynomial with degree 5. With degree 5. So the degree of this polynomial is 5. This is an irrational number, but it does not carry a variable. If it's carrying a variable, if the term is carrying a variable, maybe it has x, then it will not be a polynomial, because we said in our last video that the variable s cannot be raised to a rational power. Remember that. But because this is just a constant, the square root of 3 is just a constant, then this is a polynomial. All right, so that should be clear enough. Then the next thing, let's look at b. For b, this is not a polynomial. For b, f of s is not a polynomial. Why? In our last video, because this term here has a negative power, and we said once the power is negative, then that function or expression is not a polynomial. So this is not a polynomial because the term 2 s raised to the power of minus 2 has a negative power. Okay, so once it has a negative power, then it's not a polynomial. So quickly, let's look at c. C is s cubed plus 2s minus 6 root x. This again is not a polynomial because x here is irrational, or is carrying a rational power. Okay, so we say that f of x for c is not a polynomial. Why? Because the term minus 6 root x has a rational power. So you discover that x here, the power of x here is 1 over 2, and that is a rational power. So that makes this function, that makes it not a polynomial. Okay, let's quickly see d. So this is a polynomial with two variables. So D is a polynomial. F of s comma y is a polynomial in two variables. A polynomial in two variables. So this polynomial has two variables, x and y. But what will be the degree of the polynomial? The degree is, let's see, the power here of x here is 1 and the power of y here is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. The power here is 2 and the power here is 2 plus 1. S is carrying 2, y is carrying 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So the highest power in this polynomial is 3, because this term here has total power 3. This one has total power 2. This one has total power 2. So the power of this, the highest power in this polynomial is 3. So that makes the degree of this polynomial 3. So the degree of this polynomial is 3. Quickly, let's look at E. E, we have f of s is equals to s squared plus 5x and minus 2 over 5 over x rather. So that function f of x there is not a polynomial. It's not a polynomial because if we write this in index form, the power of s will be negative. If we write this, remember in indices, when you have 2 over x, it's same thing as writing 2x raised to the power of minus 1. You see that? So when we write this in index form, the power of s will be negative, and so this expression is not a polynomial. So sorry, rather this function is not a polynomial. So f of s is not a polynomial because the term minus 2 over x has a negative power. And lastly, f, when we expand these two terms, if we expand these two terms in this expression, then in that function, then f of s will be a polynomial. F of s is a polynomial. So we don't have the time to do that expansion now, but when you expand that, you get a polynomial with degree. So the degree of this polynomial, if we expand this, the degree will be 2, and then if we use that to expand this, the degree will be 3. So the degree of this polynomial is 3. All right. So that will be all for this video. I believe with this video you've been able to know how to recognize a polynomial and if a function is not a polynomial. In our next video, we'll be diving deeper into the topic polynomial. All right. Thanks for watching. Please follow, like, share this page and this video. Bye for now.